With over 67 intense hours of low stakes poker played, I'm attempting to do the impossible by making $100 an hour at the 1-3 table here at the Fort Card Room in Texas. We're 2/3 of the way to our goal, and we definitely have more work to do. We've made $4,583 in that time, putting our hourly at $68 an hour. Now that's a great number, but it's not enough to get us to that magical number of $100 an hour. It's time to put the pedal to the metal and lock in for another 2 sessions of insane low stakes action. We buy in for our usual $1,000, so let's get right into it. After buying in for $1,000, I quickly win back-to-back bomb pots. I had a set and a boat in one, and then quads in another, which puts my stack up at $1,400, and I look down at pocket jacks. Under the Gun opens it up for 30 bucks, and normally I would 3-bet this to $90, especially from a great position like the button, but Under the Gun is a little bit tighter, and his range should be pretty condensed from that Under the Gun position. I decide just to flat, which brings in Bruce from the small blind. We're going 3 ways to the flop. The flop comes Jack, 9, 8, bang, we flop top set, and the action checks over to me. This is a very wet board, and I definitely have to put money in the middle, and I bet out for $55. Only Bruce puts in the call. We're going heads up in position to a turn, which comes about as big of a brick as there could be, the 3 of spades. Bruce checks it over to me for a second time, and I bet nearly the size of the pot, sizing up now for $155. $10x has an open-ended straight draw. There's 2 clubs out there, and I just need to get value and protect my hand. What I don't expect Bruce to do, though, is check raise all the way up north to $500. Is that 500?
Should be.
When you go with like,
You're crazy.
I have no idea.
You're probably just gonna put it in on the river?
Sure.
You are?
Yeah, probably.
Should we just cut the shit and do it now then?
If you want to.
but you're gonna.
All right, let's cut this shit. I'm all in. So yeah, no point in letting another scare card peel off and the money doesn't go in. I decide to rip it on Bruce. He snap calls me, and when the 4 of diamonds peels off on the river, we see we're in a super cooler, but it's going in our direction. Jacks versus 9s, set over set. Bruce waited all day to make a set, and now the pot is being pushed my way, $2,200, but oh no, Bruce pulls out the feel sorry for me card and says he won't be able to pay for his medication now.
Oh, he can't afford the medicine now. Oh, gosh. The hand was very good for the 100-hour challenge, but now morally, I don't know if he's telling me a lie or not.
Wait, it's coming.
He's coughing. He's
coming.
These are the type of players that are here at my home card room, the Fort, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Speaking of which, I'm running so good when I look down at Ace Queen offsuit from Under the Gun and open it up to $15. We get 3 callers going 4 ways to the flop, which comes Ace, Queen, 4, bang, we flop top 2 on a pretty connected board, so I decide to bet out for $30. We're gonna lose 1 customer, 2 players put in the call, and the turn now comes the Jack of Diamonds. I need to go for another bet here, and I decide to make it $130, and Matthew on the button puts in the call. When the river peels off, giving me a boat, it's the Ace of Spades. My hand now went from 2 pair to a boat. I decide to get a little bit tricky here and check it over to Matthew. The logic is anyone with a king or a 10 in their hand might go for a bluff, as well as anyone that missed their flush, but I think it's a little bit better to bet my hand for what it's worth and not allow Matthew to check behind, which is exactly what happens. I check it over to him, looking to go for the check raise shove.
I gave him some rope, but he didn't take it. What do you
Like a neon sign, man.
But instead, he checks behind with Queen, Jack offsuit. He got counterfeit on the river. I didn't need that Ace of Spades. It was overkill and counterfeited his hand. Over a year and a half ago, I actually bought a small piece of the Fort Card Room, and one of the perks of doing so is that I can pretty much do whatever I want, like put up AI-generated posters of myself promoting Club WPT Gold, which is America's newest place to play online poker. The action's insane, and if you use the link down below or go to clubwptgold.com and use promo code Wolfgang, you'll get a $10 bonus for making your first purchase, and I run a daily $55 Cinco de Mayo tournament in which if you final table, I'll give you $555 extra. And spoiler alert, Canadians, your time is coming in less than a week. You guys will be able to sign up, so make sure you use the best code in the game, code Wolfgang, for all of my newest promotions.
That man, you look beautiful, man.
Thank you. This is what it takes to make it at YouTube, okay? I'm just as embarrassed as you guys are, but
This next hand's a quick one, but it gets interesting on the river. I open it up pre-flop and get 2 callers. The flop comes pretty dry, 5-5 deuce. The action checks through, bringing in an interesting card on the turn, the 7 of spades, and now I bet out for $30. We get 1 customer, that's Jeremy. Off to the river we go, which doesn't complete my backdoor flush. Instead, it's the jack of diamonds. I bet out for $90, nearly the size of the pot, and now he raises me up to 210. Well, I can't hold on any longer. I end up folding my cards, and Jeremy turns over the 5 of hearts. So I lose a small one there, and then find myself in an interesting one where I raise it up to $40 with ace 5 of hearts from the cutoff. The $10 straddle was out there and a limper, so my $40 size makes a lot of sense. We're gonna pick up a caller from the small blind, but not before there's a 3-bet to $120. We lose the limper, actions on me. I probably should just be 4-betting or folding, but I think that the $40 caller is also gonna put in the 120, so I decide to call for 120, and he doesn't, he folds. So at least we're heads up in position to a flop with now a bunch of money in the middle. I have $2,500 in my stack, and it comes a juicy 7-7-6, but with 2 hearts. The villain in the hand, who goes by Irish, checks it over to me. Now, you might think this is a good spot to stab, and you could be right, but I think Irish is likely checking here with an overpair, and I kind of just want to make my hand before more money goes in. So I check behind, and the turn comes a very tantalizing 4 of hearts. Bang, we make the nut flush. But let's not forget the board is paired. However, we have a redraw to the straight flush. So when Irish in the small blind now bets out for $110, I think we have to get more money in the middle. If he has an overpair with a heart in it, for instance, 10s, jacks, queens, or kings, he definitely will call, and I want to milk him. So I make it $375 to go, and he doesn't think about it for too long before putting in the call. Off to wherever we go, there's not too many cards I don't want to see, and of course, if an 8 or 3 of hearts peels off, well, we have a very rare straight flush. Remember when I said that there aren't too many cards we don't want to see? Well, the dealer found one of them, the 7 of diamonds. Look at that. Now any pair has a boat, and my ace high flush is nullified. I'm definitely going to check behind here when Irish checks to me, but we're not going to get the chance to do so because he just jams all in for $700. Now that he obviously has a boat, I hem and I haw. I can't believe my misfortune here. I made a great hand on the turn, and instead of having a clickbait title here with a straight flush, I'm left having to fold my hand in a $1,700 pot, and a lot of the profits are going over to Irish, who very graciously shows what we already knew, which was that he had an overpair, pocket jacks.
It was a really hard call, $375. Don't get me wrong.
So $1,750 is his reward. I then go over and complain to my friend Sam Queso. You guys, even though I have a YouTube channel and I've played hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hands, I'm not immune to a little bit of tilt. All right, now that I complained to Sam and got that out of my system, it's time to lock back in. There's a raise of $25, and of course, I'm gonna 3-bet with the best hand in Texas, the Cowboys. I have $1,900 in my stack, and $75 is the wager. There's a button straddle to 10, so it's gonna skip it. Back over to Matthew from the +1, who 4-bets me to $250. I'd love just a 5-bet here, but I think that's way too strong, and he folds anything other than aces and maybe ace king, but I have 2 of them in my hand, so it's most likely gonna be aces. So for that reason, I decide just to call. We lose the straddler, going heads up to a flop, which comes, of course, ace high. The Cowboys are an ace magnet, ace 9-7 with 2 hearts, but luckily we have the king of hearts in my hand. Actions on Matthew. What is he gonna do? He checks. I decide to check behind, and the turn now comes the 10 of spades. When he bets out for $200 after checking on the flop, I definitely can't fold. He might have queens, jacks, or 10s. Of course, he could have an ace and he gets tricky, but I don't think that's as likely as another pocket pair. I put in the call, and the river now comes the 4 of clubs, a complete brick, and now he definitely doesn't have an ace when he checks it over to me. It's most likely queens or jacks in my opinion, and so I need to go for thin value here if I have any hopes of making $100 an hour in this series. There's 914 in the middle, and if he had queens or jacks, I need to go very, very small, otherwise he's gonna fold, so I go 100 in Cinco de Mayo. Matthew thinks about it and puts in the call. I turn over the Cowboys, and he mucks his hand, which means we're taking down a nearly $1,300 pot, and I love that thin value bet on the river. That could be the difference between hitting my goal or not.
I'm here at Epsen Jorstad.
He calls,
Oh my
and
God.
that is it.
Fuck. I'm out.
Espen turns over the boat.
and has planted the Norwegian flag at this main event for the very first time.
Epsen Jorstad, main event winner, $10 million, very rich guy, very smart guy. Had a match on this years ago. Oh, he lost all of his money. Epsen. Question for you. Do you think I can make $100 an hour playing 1-3 cash games in Texas?
I've never played in Texas, but I've heard the games are juicy. I would assume you can do it, yeah?
Okay, what if I don't study a GTO Wizard? Do you still think it's possible?
Yeah. I would think that you would need GT Wizard more down here than over there. What's your historic win rate in these games?
It's around that.
Yeah.
I appreciate the minute.
You can make it.
Thank you. Good luck. Any tips for the viewers?
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're just gonna be jacking off from the +2. I make it $20 to go over a $6 straddle. We get 3 callers and the straddler. We're going 5 ways to the flop, which comes ace, queen, 5 with 2 spades, and I decide to check, which checks through, bringing in the 3 of spades on the turn. Remember, I have the king of spades in my hand. I decide to check once again. There's a bet to 20 and a call from Irish, and now I do something pretty crafty here. I locked back in, and I make it $125 with a check raise. I can win with any spade or any 10, and I think this raise will get anything but an ace to fold, and there's a lot out there. So when I make it 125 and both opponents fold, we pick up a little bit of extra value there. And look at Bruce Truckle. He loves it. Let's go. With that last tricky play in the books, I wrap up this great session from May 29th. I was in for $1,000, and after over 5 hours, I cashed for $2,280 for a profit of nearly $1,300. But the episode isn't over yet. I'm combining this one with another great session where I quickly come back to the fort and buy in for $2,000. And there's no time to waste as we look down at pocket aces, and there's a raise from the cutoff. I make it $101 to go, kind of a meme raise, and we're gonna get called from the cutoff and the button worm, going 3 ways to a flop, which is pretty wet. It comes 9-6-4 with 2 spades. Action's on me. I bet out for half pot. I'm out of position on a very wet board. I don't love this spot already, and then I'm gonna hate it a little bit more when the cutoff now raises to 450 and worm on the button jams for 16-17. Action's back over to me. I think against just a cutoff raise, we can put in the call with the ace of spades, but when it goes raise, 3-bet, and then 4-bet jam, I kind of just have to fold aces. I know it's painful, but I can't possibly be good here, right? I know what I have to do. I just take an extra second to do it. I fold my cards, and when the cutoff snap calls, we know we made the right decision. They're playing a nearly $4,000 pot and are gonna run it twice. When the boards are run out, we see that worm on the button had a set of 4s on the flop, and the cutoff had a open-ended straight draw with a flush draw to go along with it. Binks on the second board, and they're gonna chop it up. What's crazy to note is that pre-flop, I had a 63% chance of winning, and then after the flop, it went all the way down to 8%. These are the types of big folds that I have to continuously make in order to make $100 an hour. That's something I'm very good at, and sometimes to a fault. I know on some of the big streams, I get criticized for making folds, but I go with my reads, and in this exact spot, it saved me my entire stack. If you guys are into Pokemon cards as much as I am, you'll love this. A guy by the name of Parker Mudge, who lives around Fort Worth, came into the fort to give me a gift.
I wanted to say thanks, but these are for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I just want to say thanks. I was like, you're like the most down-to-earth person.
So yeah, what a genuine guy. If you guys are into Pokemon cards, definitely go hit him with a follow on Instagram and TikTok. One of the nicest guys I've met here at the fort, just giving gifts away. What a dude. All right, back to the action, and I look down at a terrible 5 deuce of clubs, but when a bunch of players limp, I can't help myself. I squeeze here to $25, and of course, I forgot we're in Texas. We're gonna go Texas heads up here when 3 players put in the call, going 4 ways to the flop on a king 9-5 board, but 2 clubs. Of course, we're gonna put more money in the middle. When my opponent from the cutoff fires out for $95, I can't go anywhere. I can make a flush, 2 pair, or trips on the turn. I put in the call, and the turn card comes a bad 6 of spades. Now my opponent jams for $306, and I'm definitely not getting the right price to call, but don't tell me or Mudkip this. I put in the call here. He has no more chips behind, but luckily the river card comes comes a card that bails me out. The Queen of Clubs, $911 in the middle. And he turns over King 9 for flop 2 pair. Look at him shake his head. What kind of player am I? A river rat? Yes, absolutely. $911 is my reward for playing like an absolute fish. You know what they say, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, and that's exactly what happened there. Speaking of which, Dalton Kincaid hops into my live stream, and he's getting kind of bored, and he tells me to play my next hand as if I had pocket aces, and I'm definitely up for the challenge. So when I look down at King 4 offsuit, I go for a triple barrel bluff until I make the straight on the river. I take in the chip stack, and hopefully a little bit of respect for my buddy Kincaid.
Shouting out anybody for that last
Yeah, shout out to Dalton Kincaid. It's gonna make the vlog here too. I got it. There it is. We got that.
How's it going?
I just need a nudge sometimes. That's what you're there for.
We then end up playing one more bomb pot in which I chop it, bringing my stack up to 2698. So after just over 5 hours, end up cashing out for $2,698. That's a profit of $698, which brings my episode 8 total up to $6,561 through 77 hours, almost $84 an hour, a significant jump from the previous episode where I was at $68 an hour. Winning back-to-back sessions is definitely what we needed to get going in the right direction, and you're gonna wanna see the last 2 videos as everything is on the line to get myself to that coveted 3-figure mark. But the episode's not over yet. If that wasn't enough action for you guys, it wouldn't be another night at the fort without one of my drunk buddies coming up to me and trying to flip me for $1,000.
I stacked him like 5 times online, and then he won't play me anymore. He knows I'm that good.
I think you should flip him, honestly.
You ever flip for $1,000 real quick? Alright, that's it.
It's a 10 card flip, and the best 5 cards are gonna win, but the only spice is if you pull a 4, you get another card.
Oh wait, a straight doesn't mean a flush?
I just learned that.
What kind of game are you running?
Last week I learned that.
Oh, you. He's got 3 cards though.
Okay, wait. What can I?
You gotta go boat. You gotta boat up.
So yeah, even though my buddy Zach self-proclaimed that he had more brain cells than dollars in my bank, he couldn't win the flip. Zach, you gotta work on your flips, buddy. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep rinsing you for $1,000 a pop. Thanks for watching this video, guys. There's 2 more on your screen right now. Click one of those to keep on watching. Good luck on the felt, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!